Speaking of young people out there in the streets, she hopefully will be the senator from South Carolina. She's facing someone who could give a damn about the community, only cares about himself. And she right now is in the state house in South Carolina fighting for reproductive rights, fighting for all of the rights in the state house. And they are stalling, and she is cussing and handling the people there. Seena Ghaznavi got her a mic the last time she was here, but she's not using that today because she is working for the people. Let me welcome back to the show, Representative, maybe soon to be Senator Krystle Matthews. Hi.
Hey, y'all. They actually calling me like, Matthews. I'm like, I'm on a Zoom. I can't.
Wait, they calling you to go do what? What you supposed to do?
Strategy session, but it's cool.
Okay.
Listen, so let me update you on what's going on here in the South Carolina State House. So y'all know we got all these Republicans that we're a Republican dominated legislature, Senate, House, and governor's mansion. Well, normally Democrats would get up and put up hell of amendments, right? Stalling the bill, trying to stall. Well, this time around, we decided not to because they're split against each other. So we decided to let them fight amongst themselves. And it drove them crazy, and it worked. So like literally half of them want rape and incest exceptions, and then the other half don't. So they're fighting against themselves, and we're staying out of it. We put up 2 amendments. One was Spencer Wetmore, and the other was mine. I put up an amendment to give the decision back to the people via referendum, let them vote on it. They voted it down. I'm on a Zoom, you can't be talking. So that's another legislator, y'all. So
who is that?
That's Representative Jerry Govan.
Yeah, Jerry Coolin.
Oh, we know him. All right,
Rep-
keep your mask on, brother. Okay, let Krystle handle this stuff, bro.
They said keep your mask on.
Yeah,
right,
you don't breathe on. Don't breathe on in Krystle's face. Go ahead.
So listen. So now that we let that horrible ass bill through, because it don't have no exceptions or nothing like that, right? Like now they're mad at us because we didn't side with the ones of them who wanted us to side with them. I'm thinking to myself, shit, y'all do that to us constantly. We have good amendments. Y'all never side with us because y'all pick whatever y'all want, for y'all voters and y'all party and all that shit. But now you can't handle it when you come back, right? So now they're stalling. Literally, there's no more amendments. All we have to do is take the vote on the bill. But they adjourned it for a recess until 5:30 for a whole doggone hour. I mean, so it'll be interesting to see what they come back with because there's no reason to recess right now. There's literally no reason.
They're out of moves. So let me Representative Matthews, who came up with the strategy?
We met as a caucus for once and finally got on the same page, regardless of our difference of opinions, regardless of what each one of us individually feels. We just said, hey, y'all, if we could just stay the course. And man, I'm telling you that has energized us today because we see now that when we do stick together, we win and we get what we want.
I need this on a loop.
Yeah.
I know this is the path forward. Let's put all of the nonsense and focus on.
Yes. Everybody got their little feelings about abortion. Everybody got their little, I get it, right? Some of y'all are pastors, some of y'all are this, some of y'all are that. But when we put all that to the side and move as a unit, we get what we want. The thing about it is when normally, Democrats are known for having their own voices, own opinions, all this stuff. But y'all, when we move together, we can win. And when it comes to abortion, I want everybody to stop talking about exceptions. Giving into exceptions is not progress. It is giving in, literally, because that's like telling people that the best we can do is getting these exceptions. Well, I can't give you $1 million, but I got 10 for you. No, the best we can do is leaving women's bodies the fuck alone. That's the best we can do. How about we leave them alone? How about we stop letting men shoot sperm everywhere out here, creating all these babies and not being accountable? So you want to punish the woman, you want to punish the doctor, but you mean the sperm shooter is just out here free. He just Spider-Man and everybody with sperm. Just I get you pregnant and you pregnant. Everybody gets pregnant. Like that's what we're doing. Come on, y'all.
You got to be in the Senate. Listen, South Carolina. If you don't live in South Carolina, move there right now. Register to vote. Oh my God, we need this woman in the Senate. Can you imagine? Oh, this is gonna be amazing. Go ahead, Seena.
Tim Scott
I see it.
Tim Scott has agreed to debate, y'all. I don't know when the date is going to be, sometime in October,
Ooh.
probably. I am so looking forward to that because this Negro has been hiding under a shadow of no identity for I don't know how long. But let me tell you something, when I am done, whether y'all say I win or I lose, y'all gonna know who he is. And for me, that is a win because that Negro is a gray shadow right now. And we are going to find out exactly who he is and what he stands for. And all these doggone soundbite clickbaits that he like to give us on his page and all these pre-programmed sentences. Yeah, we're gonna see what it do for real, because I'm tired of people saying Black people are not a monolith. Well, then stop letting him speak for all of us when he don't speak for all of us. He don't speak for none of us. So let's get that straight. I am just tired today. I done had enough. It is time for us to move along. We got stuff to do. We got S to do. I'm trying to do better with my cussing, y'all, but we got S to do.
Some things are so profane, Representative Matthews, that you need to cuss. Some things are just so profane.
Yeah.
Representative Matthews, can you take me into that strategy meeting a little bit? How did you guys all decide? Like, what was the shift that everyone, was there something that happened externally or was there something that someone said?
It was like, we've done what we've done multiple times. Are we going to do something different? And of course, there's always some defectors that want to come in with the what if, or what if our, the people that follow us see we vote against this, and no, but we're going to cover that because we had our own amendment that would have codified Roe, and it contained all of that stuff. So I voted for the one amendment that codified Roe that gave you all of these rights, and I voted against all the rest of them because let me tell y'all, you got to play chess and not checkers. Check this, Seena. So when they want to get something passed so that they can show their people they're okay, they want us to just get on board, right? So it's like, oh, well, send it to us this way so that we can either decline it or vote for it. But guess what that does? It gives them cover. So it never makes them actually stand on what they're saying they believe. Well, if you believe it that much, and if you really think your people are that hard, then stand on what you say. Just like Tim Scott, y'all, he ain't campaigning nowhere, but to Republicans, we ain't seen nothing from him nowhere in none of the places I've been. That's because he's lazy and he don't feel like he have to campaign. I keep telling people, stop acting like y'all seats is guaranteed. Ain't nobody seats guaranteed. That's why I go balls to the wall every 2 years, because I could not be here in the next 2. I don't have time. In the words of Congressman Cummings, we ain't got time to wait. I don't know if I'm gonna be here. Tomorrow is not promised. I gotta fight today. So that means working families, women, young people, we need stuff today. We got stuff to do. And better does not mean sufficient. And I ain't content with better. I need what's sufficient because we've been dealing with better for too long and it's kept us on the bottom.
Representative Matthews, let's go to that day where you win the Senate race. It's your first day as senator. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Man, Seena, I'm going in there kicking and screaming about credit score reform. Yo, credit scores are the gateway to generational wealth. Most people get wealthy through inheritance. And if you can't buy nothing to leave for your people, then your shot is already done. When we talk about credit, you got to have good credit to get insurance. Why are we not limiting credit score decisions to credit worthiness decisions? We shouldn't be using it for everything across the board. Not only that, but if I can manage my cash and don't need credit, that seems to me that I'm good at budgeting. But I got to go get debt to get debt. And then you ain't even going to pay me enough to pay back my debt. Wait, what are we saying, Seena? What are we saying? We got to get into this. When we talk about the length of time stuff stay on your credit score, when you talk about medical debt, oh, I mean, come on, who can really afford anything medical? I don't even ride in an ambulance. Don't call the ambulance. Put me in the back of your truck, in your back seat, put me somewhere and take me to the hospital, but do not. And my kids know, do not, by all means, do not call 911 because they're going to send the ambulance. And that's a bill that I really cannot afford.
Wow. I think I just got chills. All the hair on my back is up. There's a lot of hair.
There's a lot of it. Yeah, he's got a lot of back hair. Representative Matthews. She can see it through the shirt. As you're in the state house right now, and let's project midterms. The Senate, you win. We got 53, 54 senators. The House holds the door. Strategy for 2024 is what? You're in charge of strategy. You're strategic, you're engineering strategist. It's what you do.
So part of strategy is knowing who you're dealing with, right? So when you're dealing with a certain faction of people, and I won't necessarily categorize them all yet until I get in there and kind of fill out where I'm at, because that's a part of it. You can't go in blind thinking you know everything either. You got to go in and watch a little bit. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna watch and everything, but there are some people who don't do well with open-ended decisions, and those people you have to give them instruction. And then there's other people that you have to caress a little bit, make them think they're in charge. When you talk about strategy, you got to remember that the goal of a strategy is the end game. If you just there to be popular, you can throw your strategy shit out the window because it ain't getting ready to work. Everybody want to be head honcho and on the news, and then I did this and I did this. But did you do some shit we can see right here at home? Because if you did some shit that was newsworthy, but I couldn't feel it at home, I'm not sure how impressed I am.
Wow. What are we doing?
Well, before you can, what are we doing? We need to elect more Krystle Matthews to everything. Representative Matthews is literally in the State House right now. It's beautiful, by the way. The architecture in South Carolina is beautiful. I didn't get to get in. Yeah, actually, I did do a little tour when I was down there with the flag coming down. And it is fantastic. It is beautiful. And I see the American flag and the new South Carolina flag there. I was just talking about Jackson, Mississippi, before you came on earlier, and the flooding that's there and the lack of water that people have. Like they don't have running water. There's a state of emergency in Jackson, Mississippi. And I said, what do you do if you're Chokwe Lumumba or you're a senator from that state? How do you get, the people right now they're suffering. And this is something that you couldn't foresee or control, or maybe you could foresee because the climate is what it is. How do you handle natural disasters or man-made disasters like this one?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna say this: we got to stop being reactive. The one thing I will say about these southern states is them mother suckers like to be behind the 8 ball. Y'all get hit by storms and tragedy every freaking year. Are you kidding me? Why are we not reinforcing our pipes? Why are we not reinforcing our systems? We spending all this money on on visitor centers. You need to be somewhere putting some wires underground so that the electricity don't go out every time the wind blow more than 10 degrees to the left. That is what I'm talking about. When you talk about infrastructure support, you can talk about roads and bridges, which are very much needed. Let me not say that. But at the same time, you have to be proactive with your ideas on where we're going. We have so much technology. You mean to tell me that we're not investing in technology going forward as far as our water contamination levels, how we store pipes, where we put them, how we deal with them? Like this, these are all the things that I look at the South and I be like, what are we doing? We have storms every year. This is not new. None of this is new. When are we going to put our money where our mouth is? We can't keep saying we're going to invest in it. We can't keep campaigning on it, but then not fighting for it when we get in. Everybody want to be popular again with the same clickbait points. When is somebody going to be popular with the shit people actually need to thrive? That's where I am. So if I were down there, I would be saying, first of all, if there's not a state of emergency declared, it needs to be, because that comes with resources. People hear it on the news and they don't know that when your state is declared with a state of emergency, it comes with other resources that people need. So we need to do that. But we also need to talk about going forward. What are we going to do? Awesome. One of my awesome young Democrats just ran by. But like, what are we going to do going forward so that we can mitigate this for the next time? And that's not enough of what we're doing, because as soon as we put out the fire, much like the Black community, sorry, y'all, I love y'all, but once we put the fire out and once the glittery lights and shiny armor is gone, everybody forget what the problem was until the next incident. We can't keep doing that. We cannot.
Right. I couldn't agree more.
How do you keep these problems front of mind for people?
Well, the first thing that you have to do is prioritize a list. The one thing that I am hell bent on is a list, and maybe it's because I have 5 kids, but I feel like, dude, why don't these, when I become senator, on my website, I'm gonna have a list of things that I'm working on, and I'm gonna have a place where people can come in and shoot comments and updates and ideas, because guess what? I don't know it all. But if you got an idea of something that I ain't heard of, and it will help us get to the fix for the problem, I'm all in. That way y'all can see what I'm working on. The squeaky wheel really does get the oil in politics. No one politician can handle every single issue by themselves. So you have to have somebody that can bring that to light. That's why I say it's not what am I going to do, it's what are we going to do? because I can't do it without y'all, because I can't have eyes and ears and ideas everywhere. That's why it's got to be representation of the people, not representation of self.
Let me ask you, Representative Krystle Matthews is here. She, of course, will be on the November ticket for South Carolina's Senate seat. She's running against Tim Scott, who is, I'll just leave it at that, 866-801-8255. But saying that, for the people, by the people is something that we're taught at an early age, yet the majority of people in Congress are millionaires. They insider trade. They become richer when they come to Congress. It's all about, pressing flesh and getting lobbyists money from big corporations, because corporations are people. And it's not about the people. 99% of us are not served by the people we send to Congress, whether we're talking about the House or the Senate. You are a regular ass person. And I'm saying that with
my
all
water be shut
compliment.
off, Karen. Like, my water be off. Like, what? I need my salary. I feel AOC. Like, I need that salary though. I can't even come until I get my salary. What's going on?
That's important, because there's a connectedness to the trials and tribulations and the travails of everyday people that I feel like too many people in Congress who are there to service the people are so far removed. They have their little clubhouse life in Washington. They got their Washington apartment, their home state apartment, they're jet setting, they're doing all of these things while the people suffer. So I love that you have 5 children. What is being a mom of 5 children? What is that? What of that experience will you be bringing to Congress?
Everything. I mean, I have 5 completely different children, and they have prepared me for war. I know I can walk and chew gum at the same time, and they do not let me forget that I'm just their mama. So when it comes to staying grounded, we're not gonna have a problem with that. I mean, when I've had any controversy up here, my 17-year-old daughter, she is so disrespectful. Brooklyn will walk in and be like, "Oh, so you just had to act black?" I'm like, "Really? So you just disrespectful today?" But she do not care. They do not care. They want to know, do I have their Gatorade when I go to the sporting events? If I ain't got Gatorade, they don't give a that I made it to the game. They looking at me like, you need to hit a gas station or something. Like, one thing that I keep telling people is, be careful and weary of your representation who starts, when that title becomes their identity, that's when you know you in the danger zone. I don't make people call me Representative Krystle Matthews. Now, if you do it out of respect, I ain't gonna stop you. But I am just Krystle, right? So when you start seeing people, and people, I think they start off with good intentions, but it's easy to start feeling important, right? Because we're talking about, even right here in the State House, we have security everywhere. We have pages that'll go get you something to drink. And if you're not used to that, or even if you are, you get caught up in it, right? It's easy to get wrapped up in the hype. But with that, when you're talking to the people who represent you, y'all, you can feel when they're giving you a speech. Go with your gut. Stop acting like your gut just stopped working one day. When you're talking to them and it feels like they speaking you, they are. If it feels like they are now worried about their title more, they are. And stop holding on to the idea of them that you once knew, because people change after a while. You have to re-elect them in your mind every election. If it's 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years, in your mind, you need to hit a reset and re-elect them for that time, because you don't know when that change can happen and they become about the title and not about the people.
866-801-8255. They're coming for you, Representative.
Oh, most certainly. Oh,
yes.
most certainly.
And again, we all, I know those of y'all that go to church, we all fall short of the grace. We're all human. And, I feel like there's a standard that no one lives up to, that everyone expects people to live up to, but nobody's living up to. Yes. So if you are running for office and you get caught on video twerking, that somehow is a problem for some people, because my representative shouldn't twerk, but you can be in a bathroom tapping the next guy in the stall, and that's fine. Or you can, grab people by the P words, or have P tapes out there on you, and be president of the United States. So like, you're going to need to make it make sense across the board. Do you want to address anything on these airwaves since you have it?
Oh, well, I mean, are you asking me about the call?
I'm not asking you, but if you want to tell us.
Oh, but let me tell you something. Let me help you out with something. I ain't out here trying to impress none of y'all. I'm out here trying to be a help to my community. Whether you impressed with me or not, you need to be asking yourself, are you worried about being impressed with me? Or are you worried about if I'm gonna answer your call and help you when you in need? That is what you need to focus on. And the reason why so many of y'all ain't got nothing is because y'all are focused on the wrong thing. Y'all worried about how somebody look instead of how they vote and act. Let me tell y'all something. It can be them squeaky clean folks in the suit. You can have the most decorum and the sweetest voice in the world and vote against something people really need that will harm them. And then be mad at the person who shoot it to you straight with no chaser. But at least you know where they stand. They ain't trying to trick you or nothing. But we got to get out of that perception and putting these people on pedestals. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do. And these folks up here, I'm telling y'all, I serve with people right now to this day. And that call, let me tell y'all something. That call that came out about me, I talk ish from time to time. But why in the would I wait till I'm 40 to do some stupid shit? Like, have some common sense. I can't help y'all think. This is critical thinking 101. I got Republican colleagues in the state house that called me the day after laughing, like, ooh, we told you was gonna get in trouble with that mouth at one point or another. They know good and well I ain't doing nothing on that call. We leave out of here and go have lunch. Folks is crazy if they think for 1 second that really what they think happens, all this fighting and dissension, is what we really live, because it ain't. We sit next to each other in desks right here in the state house while we disagreeing over very heated topics such as abortion today. And do you think we jumping over the thing, shooting at each other with ARs and slapping each other in the back of the head? Come on, y'all. This is critical thinking 101. I can't help y'all with that. That's why we got to go back to building the mental capacity that people really need to have to deal with life's challenges and really have those thinking skills that will lead to them to a decision that will help them make what is right for their family correct. Like, you can't keep saying, I'm a teacher and I vote Republican because of abortion. Well, sis, I'm sorry, but your school board doesn't decide abortion. Your state representatives don't decide abortion. Well, they do now, but they didn't before. So it's like, y'all, I can't help y'all. Like, you keep voting based on this one issue, but you don't live a one issue life.
That's right there. KMFOR Senate for Krystle Matthews. KMFOR Senate is her Twitter handle. Cunningham looks like he might be the next governor. If you beat Tim Scott, how do you sustain? Because again, Obama, we had a black president twice. The world has changed. No, it hasn't. That's when you put your foot on the gas and get everything that you need. How do you keep people in South Carolina engaged because once you're elected, now the real work begins, which is what folk don't understand either. Now it's roll up your sleeves time. Mm-hmm. That voting is like step 8 in a 10-step process. Y'all did what you needed to do. You got the people that you needed elected. Now, how do we hold you accountable?
So, like, for me personally, I told you I'm gonna have the site listing my priorities and listing what we're working on, but I'm also gonna do a rotational meeting with those people back here at home with the communities, so I can hear, okay, now we said we sent this resource. Is it getting to you or is it not getting to you? That's why you have staff that will help you cover a lot of this ground. But if you don't use your staff correctly and you just use them to get coffee and do a little fruitful stuff, or if you only helping your friends, right? I ain't gotta like you to help your community because I'm elected to represent everybody. And I want people to stop trying to like everybody that is in politics. Stop it. Just cut it out. You're not gonna like them. That's crazy. I don't even like all the kids in my house. I mean, I love them, but I don't like them all the time. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? We have our days. We have our moments. Like, you stop it. Just stop it.
This is not a popularity contest. This is a job.
No, and stop voting for the musician of music at your church to be a city council and all these other crazy things. Y'all, listen, y'all got to stop it. Y'all killing us right now, and you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, so you gonna vote for them because you friends with them. Invite them to dinner. Don't vote for them. Just tell them, look, I love you. You can eat in my house any day, but I can't vote for you.
All right.
You ain't got
it. The credit score thing, not mad at. What are 2 other issues on the Krystle Matthews
Yeah, I got more
platform.
than two, but I'm gonna give you a few.
Okay.
So I got
Okay.
immigration on my platform, right? We keep yelling about the southern border and all these walls and all. Can we get some new solutions? Yes, we can. Krystle Matthews has some for you. How about we give them a place closer to home to seek asylum? That way they're not gathering up at the southern border and throwing their kids in the water to get it. Why don't we create ways for them to have legal immigration if they want to fill jobs in the U.S. market? Why don't we add to the resources that takes the processing time down? Because I came the right way, me and my, okay, y'all did, but it takes forever right now. So we need to do some things differently. Let's start there. Healthcare, when we talk about Medicaid and splitting pills, my mama cut her pills in half. Let me tell y'all something, y'all. We cannot be the richest country and have the highest healthcare costs. Stop telling me we ain't got money. We keep pulling billions out of our, you know what? And I just be like, man, we got money? Like, where we get money from? Nobody's concerned about where the money come from unless it's for those that are poor. Y'all need to cut it out. Student debt, we did what, 10 up to 20 Propel grants. Okay, that's a start. Well, we can do more, especially right now. When we look at the stats and what your boomers paid for college versus what we pay now versus the cost of living, all of that, y'all, there's economists that deal with this stuff. My question is, again, when you talk about priorities, we have to prioritize the things that make sense. And when we talk about public education, I mean, I hate to say this because I have 5 kids that came up, but I mean, y'all, it can't take a genius to know that the funding formula we can't rely on something that's a variable. You can't variably fund public education and think it's going to be adequate. I mean, how many years in a row can we do that? Well, it's house taxes, then it's business taxes, all these fluctuations. But guess what? Your kids go to school every year, whether there's businesses or houses or not. Come on. Y'all, not only that, but teachers want money, but they also want support. They also want low classroom size. They also want affordable housing for themselves. They have been at the bottom for far too long. My goodness, we want them to
Yes.
beg for blood. What are we doing? We
Yes.
have
I couldn't agree
so
more with the,
we
yes.
have so much we have so much work to do. You know, I had 2 parents that have been to prison, so I'm definitely a big fan of prison reform. I'm a big fan of gatekeeping your criminal history. If I'm applying for a stocking job at night, y'all don't need to know that I robbed the bank. I can't rob cans. I'm just stocking cans. It's not necessary. We got to give them a chance to get back into regular society and life and make a living for them and their families, or else we're pushing them to the fringes. It just doesn't make sense.
And what's the point of people, quote unquote, paying their debt to society, but wearing a scarlet letter for the rest of their lives? To me, that is the opposite of redemption. That's the opposite of Christian values. That's the opposite of everything that this country is supposed to stand for. If you paid, you're off parole, you've done get your voting rights. You shouldn't even lose your voting rights because you're still a citizen. And you need more resources than anybody.
Don't get me started on the voting rights thing. If that ain't some gatekeeping ish for your tail, nobody should be losing their voting rights because they went to prison. Like, yo, are you for real right now? That does not even make sense. Mixed with the fact that we also need to end cash bail for low-level crimes. So you mean to tell me I got to stay in jail because I don't have $100 for bail, but this guy who committed murder and he got 500,000, he just out and free, and I'm standing here because I don't have $100? We have to get rid of that for low-level crimes. That is just ridiculous. And we got to make sure that when they get out, they got paperwork. People don't even know how hard it is when you get out. If it's been years since you've been in, you probably lost all your documentation. Guess what? You got to have documentation to get a license, and you got to have a license to get a documentation. So what are you supposed to do? So when you see people get pulled over and they don't have license and identification and things, I know a lot of people think that's very simple, and it is to you and I, but it's not simple when it's a catch-22 for every single step that you make. You feel like you have to jump through 10 hoops, especially when you're acclimating back to a society that's not the way it was when you left it. Anyway, don't get me on my soapbox about prison.
All right, let me get one constituent. We got one constituent, Adrian in South Carolina. She's voting in November. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Hey, Adrian.
Hi, I'm a first-time caller.
All right, welcome.
And I'm well aware of some of the challenges, Ms. Matthews, you've had here in South Carolina and turned a lot of people off. But listening to you right now, talking to Karen, I'm going to vote for you. And everybody I know, I'm going to encourage them to vote for you because I'm getting behind you with this. We got to put aside them petty differences. We got work to do. You are a fighter, and we need somebody that's going to fight. We need
Facts.
somebody that's going
appreciate
to fight,
that.
and I hit that in you. Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Listen, I'm smiling because your life experience makes you the perfect person to serve in Congress, and because you've lived,
Yeah,
and you
I've
weren't born with a
lived.
silver spoon, and you know what it's like to get out here every day and fight for your entire life and the life of your children. And I know you're gonna do the same
Yeah.
for the people in South Carolina. So
And if anybody is listening to this call and you know any radio stations or anybody that need to be plugging me, plug me, because let me tell you something, Karen. I don't know if y'all know this, but the Democratic Party has not ran any ads for us here statewide. And I am a Black woman with no money running a statewide campaign. People do not know how hard that is. And it takes a lot of money just to keep basic resources running. And I'm telling y'all that right now, people do not like the fact that a real person is running. And I ain't talking about they won't vote for me. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that would seek to not have me because, we talk about racism, but we keep forgetting that classism exists as well. And they feel like, oh, well, she's not polished enough or she's not this enough. Let me tell you something. Them polished folks be the ones robbing y'all blind and taking y'all money and y'all not knowing about it till the news reported. You got to be careful what you wish for because sometimes you just might get it. And what you see is what you get. I believe that politics is a relay and not a marathon. That's why there are so many freshman candidates on the ballot right now that said they are running because I talked to them, because I understand that I got to give what I got away in order for us to really make progress. I am not looking to be in the seat forever. I want to serve the people and I'm going to do my damnedest while I'm here, come hell or high water. But if you know radio stations, Breakfast Club, I don't care who it is, Gino in the morning, whoever, I don't care. I need to be on everybody's show. If y'all know Steve Harvey, hit up Ricky Smiley. I need all the support that I can get because this is a true grassroots campaign. I don't have no mega people behind me. If you know a mega donor that would love me, tell them to come call me, find me, take me out to dinner because I can't pay. They gonna have to pay for it. But I'm with it. Listen, Seena. And
well,
Seena,
listen,
your mic is dope, by the way.
this
Okay.
it's borrowed, but somebody should investigate. But you're on probably the best platform because the listeners on this channel vote. They register people to vote. They go out and they canvass. They support campaigns. I'm not sure of the other ones. You may get a lot of attention. Attention is important, but you need people to show up and show out for you. And that's this audience right here. So you're in the best place you can be. But yes, let's expand it. Yes. So there you go. That's all. I'm just reminding you that the people gonna do the things.